It's really awesome the community that's in place at Multifamily Mindset. Talking with people, you essentially have this great network all around you with different levels of knowledge, different subject matter experts in various parts of real estate, and we try to remind ourselves it's always important to really keep up with networking with individuals that you meet. You never know along your journey who can help each other. So it's very important to stay in touch with those that you meet, whether they're day one or they've been doing this for 15 or 20 years. You never know when an opportunity arises, how you can help each other. And that's the beauty of the community that's been built at Multifamily Mindset.
Multifamily Mindset podcast. Think bigger.
Welcome back to the Multifamily Mindset podcast. I'm your host today, Zach Rucker, and I am thrilled about today's episode. We have our repeat guest, so you guys are in for a treat. And I know many of you have listened to this previous episode with Cooper and Michael from CM Capital. Guys, I am just so stoked to have you guys back on and just dive in deep. I know a lot's gone on since we last been on. It's been almost a year and a half since last time we recorded. And that's crazy because that was like one of my first episodes recording with you guys, which was sweet. And now we're both a little bit more experienced from me recording podcasts and you guys, getting deals done. So, guys, I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for having us again, Zach. Multifamily team. We're happy you're still doing this with your radio voice, and yeah, excited to catch up. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Swan, it's always a pleasure catching up with you, Zach. We're very excited to be here. We're excited to chat.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. Let's first give people kind of some updates to where you guys are at. And listeners, if you haven't listened to the first episode, go back and listen to it because I know you're gonna take a lot from that episode, and then jumping into this one, you're just gonna even learn so much more to see how these guys have improved from even last time. So let's some life updates. Like what's been going on the past year and a half since last time our listeners were on here.
Coop, I can go ahead since mine's not as magnificent as yours, but life's going well. I'm still living in Nashville. Coop's still living in Nashville. My two twin-year-old boys are about 2.5 now, so the terrible twos is a real thing. I do like shameless plug. I like to think that, what I learned from MFM with, mindset is everything helps, right? I get home from work, maybe some real estate calls after that, and I'm so exhausted and they're wanting to play. So just trying to keep in mind, like, and put in perspective, like, this age isn't there forever. So get up off the couch, go play with them, have some fun and be positive. So that's pretty much it on my end.
We have some exciting news from the McCoy household. We had a baby boy on June 1st, Brooks McCoy, and it's really put life into perspective. It's very exciting coming home, seeing the smile on his face. Each day he seems to be bigger and bigger. Very exciting, and tons of lessons learned from multifamily mindset that have applied to not only real estate, but being a father, just being the best that you can and really remembering what's important in your life. It puts into perspective outside of career ambitions, real estate, supporting a family. So it's very, very exciting.
That's awesome. Well, congrats, Cooper. I know that's huge. It's so fun being a dad and dealing with the toddlers too once they get there. But I love it. Awesome. Well, that's great. So let's jump into what's happened now with CM Capital on the real estate side. Where are you guys at today? I know we're kind of walking through this before, but I'd love like just throughout the stats too for our listeners to kind of hear where you guys stand.
Yeah, a lot has changed in that year and a half or so. So last time we were on the podcast, we had our first deal in the books, and I know that one was focused on the quick raise and all of that, and some tips there. But I think we've really took a big step and have evolved quite a bit. So fast forward in present day, we're at 544 doors, assuming our deal that we're currently working on closes in September, which we're fully subscribed to. 36.8 million assets under management, 3.75 million raised across the four properties, and then 59 total investors. So we've come a long way from our 44 unit property in College Station. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learnings along the way.
That's awesome. So I mean, and these are your guys' numbers. So you guys have raised between the two, you raised 3.75 million um, out of 59 investors. Like that's awesome. That's a huge accomplishment to be able to get there, especially from the last time uh, that we were on your first deal. It was a few investors, and now you're up to 59 investors. Like that's crazy, and that's awesome. So congrats to you guys on that, and hopefully this closing here. And I mean, that's awesome. You're already fully subscribed for a deal that's closing in a month. So that's huge that you guys are already there for that. So what's been the biggest change from your first deal to now, even raising for this last deal that you're already fully subscribed for? Like what's been that change, and what have you learned since then that's helped kind of evolve you guys?
You can take that one, Mike.
Yeah.
Our first deal, uh, back a year, rewind back a year and a half ago, we were very archaic, and it's ironic. We come from Amazon in the tech world. We were very archaic with our systems and processes. Since then, we've learned that when you look for a CRM, we were being very frugal when we first started. We've upgraded our CRM since then, and we've put together very strong systems and processes that we follow. And that's been tremendous in our growth. And that's what I would recommend to anyone starting out. Make sure as you scale, you're focusing on your systems in place, your processes in place, because that's kind of the foundation of building up your business. We've been very intentional on social media. We have a new Facebook page, Instagram page, and we've dedicated a lot of time building those pages out, building content out, just to teach and learn. So that's what we've learned since our first deal, and it's very exciting. Big shout out to Eddie. We use his new CRM, RE Simplify. It's great, so I wanted to give a big shout out there. We're big fans. But yeah, that's high level what's worked for us. And then um, another piece of advice that I would give to anyone just starting out is there's going to be ups and downs throughout your journey, but reflecting during your highest highs or your lowest lows, just remembering that discipline is simply remembering what you want most and really just taking a step back. It's never as bad as it seems, and it'll never be as good as it seems. It'll all be reversion to the mean, and really just reflecting why you're going on this journey puts it into perspective. The journey's really fun. There'll be tough moments, there'll be very exciting moments, but just reflecting on all the progress you've made is very exciting when you look back and reflect.
Yeah, so you brought a good point up is the journey, and yeah, you guys have been at this for since your first deal, a year and a half. So it's been a couple years that you guys have been since you joined the program, went through the mentorship, um, gone to peak partnership twice now, right? And that, the second time on the podcast, you guys are still in this journey, and like you said, there's ups and downs, there's trials. Like it's a hard journey. You're building a business. So how have you guys? And you just mentioned the quote, the discipline part, but what else has helped you guys just continue to push through. Now you're 2 years into this, and you guys are doing great. You guys, 4 deals, 3.75 million in equity raised from 59 investors. Um, you know, what are you guys doing to just keep moving forward when you've gone through the hard parts?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I mentioned this on the last podcast too, but having a partner really is game changer versus doing this solo. So if anyone's new to join, like highly recommend get in that multifamily Facebook group, find a partner or maybe someone you work with. Cooper is a great example. But we help hold each other accountable, right? Like there's ups and downs in life, right? It happens. Um, but it's really important to have a partner, right? Whether it's life, business, etc., to help hold you accountable and pick you up when you're down, right? Like we've both been through highs and lows and been there for each other. So I think that is pretty motivating. Um, but also just creating mini milestones that helps motivate you, right? Like if you just say, yes, I want to get 1,000 units, it's going to be a long process. So creating those mini milestones, I never thought we would get to 500 doors, maybe at any point or this fast. So it'll be super exciting, but creating those mini milestones every day, hey, we're going to update our CRM or we're going to go to this networking event and our goal is XYZ. That's super powerful to help you stay motivated and disciplined.
Yeah.
Piggybacking on Mike's point, just the importance of a really good partner. One particular example, right after we had our baby boy in June, Mike, I'll never forget this. He said, enjoy your time with your son. I'll take the calls and the meetings for the next 2 weeks. Just enjoy your time with your family. So it's very important to have a partner that helps you out when life events come up. And it goes both ways. And the importance of a partnership is critical in success because one of you will get busy at times and the other one can take the work and just going through the journey with someone, holding each other accountable to strive for greatness is it's really fun and it's been amazing to see. I would say one additional thing that's kept us going and really leveled us up through the years is finding great mentors. We've set up a cadence with one mentor and we have monthly calls on Fridays. And each month we go through a different topic to level up our game. And we come prepared. We send out an agenda before our meetings and we go through the agenda and we do a different topic each month. And then we also have a few other mentors where we just do ad hoc calls along the way. So it's very important just to be humble and understand that it's a long process, it's a journey, and you're gonna keep learning along the way and surrounding yourself with people that have been there longer and they're further along in their journey, just picking their brain when the opportunity arises, whether it's scheduled calls, if they're generous enough for ad hoc calls, that's very important to continue learning because there's always going to be new obstacles that you come across during your journey. And it's great to either bounce ideas off of mentors or maybe they've been there before and they can talk you through what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always be learning. So this is a quote that I love. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life.
Hmm. Dang, that one hits me differently because I'm usually one that's quiet in the back of the room, but definitely push that to learn because you guys are right. It's always learning. Like in this space, which is it's a beautiful thing, is like you never know, you'll never know everything. Like there's always something that's going to pop up that you need to learn new about, or as you grow, there's always new obstacles to overcome or different ways to go about doing deals. And there's just so much to learn about this space. And so, yes, like at all points, you need to seek out a mentor or someone more experienced to continue to learn from them. That's just going to accelerate your business
Mhm.
and how you improve on things because you're asking the questions, right? You're the fool for the minute, and but you become out a lot smarter, a lot faster by just diving in deep into those questions and being essentially vulnerable, right? Of and unhumble of I don't know this, so I'm not going to
Mhm.
fake it. I'm going to ask the question and I'm going to figure it out because I want to improve, right? It's the long game that you guys are in this and building this business and continue from there. You guys brought up some points and maybe this is heavy on my mind because I started rereading Atomic Habits. So you guys have put in these strategies and things and you have a great partnership. Maybe what are some habits that you guys have installed this past 2 years that have helped you be consistent in this where you are still here 2 years later? Like there's some habits I know you guys have been able to put into place. What are some of those that you guys have worked on?
Yeah, I can take that to start off. So I think number one is Cooper and I are very intentional about having at least once a month a meeting where we go have breakfast or lunch and we spend 3, 4 hours just talking through our business and business strategy. That kind of helps us keep on track. Maybe we fall behind on some goals, we can get back on track, or maybe we divert our attention elsewhere, right? So I think that's important. We talked media in the last podcast. I still think consistently using social media is a super powerful tool. Um, in my opinion, I don't think it should just be real estate, right? Like we intentionally will also give motivation or self-help quotes because that can help build the foundation and kind of also show what your company is about and also help people when they may be, struggling in certain areas. So I think those are two pretty big habits there. Um, Coop, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Yeah, we've built a lot of synergies just being in the same office. We have a unique advantage to when we can go ask each other a quick question. But additionally, Mike and I have made an intentional effort of going out in public more, public settings, talking about strategy, being intentional, just talking about what we do in public forums, because word of mouth is a very powerful concept. You never know whether it's someone you don't know who they know, or if it's someone you meet, you don't know who they know. So just talking about what you do is very powerful. So Mike and I have made an intentional effort to go to various events, talk about what we do, just educate to the best of our ability, and let the power of word of mouth spread, which has led to a lot of new investors, a lot of new opportunities. It's been very beneficial throughout the last year for us.
I'll add one more too. Sorry. AI. If you're not using AI, use AI. It makes your life so much easier. When we are building some of our social media posts, it's as simple as you read a book and you see a really good quote, or maybe you see it on social media. uh, you can leverage AI to build it out and have your brand behind it or get creative with how you present that image on social media. We use Chat GPT, Grok, Adobe Express is a really good one to build some content too. But AI just helps so much. And we talked about how we've grown with 59 investors. It's a lot. To keep up with, especially if you don't have good efficiencies in place like AI. Um, One really good habit that I think we do is kind of a good best practice. We're fortunate to where some of our properties, some of our GP team, it's in their backyard. So they may just go over on a random Saturday and post some content on social media. Instead of waiting until the quarterly newsletter for updates, we'll proactively reach out to some of our investors to say, "Hey, this is what's going on. We're putting in a dog park or we're putting in a barbecue pit." It's just kind of going above and beyond to build that comfortability with some of our investors.
Just going back to systems, the ability of AI, it can save time so you can utilize that time on more strategic work for your business. It's very important. I firmly believe to educate yourself on in AI if you're not already, because there's an opportunity cost. If you're not utilizing AI, you're spending additional time, whereas you could be utilizing that time to be doing more strategic work. So there is an opportunity cost at hand there.
Hmm. Yeah, it's funny. Just a month or two ago, our podcast producer Will interviewed me and asked the question if I used AI, and I said no at the time, and then I questioned myself. I'm like, why haven't I been using AI? And then I just like literally the next day or even that day, um, I dove into it, and I'm like, I gotta utilize this. Now, I'm not on the investor relations side and posting content, so I don't use it for that, which is it's super beneficial. But I've used it to help look into like a PSA contract. Hey,
Mm.
can you pull out some of this and make sure there's not any, language I need to be aware of. So I've looked into that and I've used it for a lot of different things to help build out, some construction plans or understand some costs or understand, you know, uh, RV park developments, a new asset too. So like I've used it to do research and dive in deep from the acquisition standpoint, um, which has been very beneficial because you can just you dive into it and really learn a lot through that research that just speeds up the process. So uh, I knew like right when I answered that question, I was like, I'm making a mistake. I'm behind the ball here. So yes, AI is huge in learning that in every aspect. Yeah, no, it's not going to underwrite deals for you, but it can help you analyze some information or do some research. Or on the investor relations side, it's huge on the social media and the content and building that out. That's awesome. I think you're guys right. Like you fall to the level of your systems. Again, that's from Atomic Hack from James Clear. You fall to the level of your system, and so it's putting those systems in place. Um, that's gonna have you, gonna keep you successful and going forward. So you guys did mention like just being intentional about opening your mouth, doing in public, going to events, and we mentioned Cooper, you mentioned this before the call. You're working on actually putting an event together. So I'd love to like you can dive into what you guys are working on, that you guys are putting together here pretty soon.
Uh, we're very excited to announce we're hosting a breast cancer golf charity tournament. We've partnered with Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville, and they have been tremendous. Big shout out to Vanderbilt Hospital. They helped create the website. They've helped do a lot of the planning, coordination. We'll have the website in the meeting notes as well. But the breast cancer golf charity tournament is called Find a Cure, presented by CM Capital. It's on Friday, October 3rd. It starts at 8 a.m. It's at Country Hills Golf Club in Hendersonville, which is about 30 minutes north of Nashville. Um, it really is a wonderful cause. It hits at home for both of us. Cancer in general, um, everyone knows someone that's been impacted by cancer or knows someone that knows someone that's been impacted by cancer. And it's a really good cause to give back to the community, get people spreading awareness of cancer, breast cancer in particular. My wife actually had breast cancer, success story. She's a breast cancer survivor.
That's
So that's
awesome.
what spurred the idea. And we're looking to make this an annual golf charity tournament. Uh, and we're very grateful to say we've already had quite a few people sign up, quite a few donations in place. We have some sponsors for the events, and it's really been working on this, planning this since January of this year. So it's been a long time in the works, and it's one of those things that the journey has been just as fun as anything that I've done in my life. It's it hits differently when you do something that hits very close to the heart. And Mike and I are super excited about this golf charity tournament. And we're excited to keep it going annually, make it bigger and better, apply lessons learned moving forward. But we have a lot of investors going, friends, family, people in our network that are all there to support a great cause. And there's even going to be doctors from Vanderbilt playing in the tournament, which is very exciting. So we'll have it in the meeting notes. If anyone is interested in coming to Nashville or interested in golf for a breast cancer golf charity tournament, we'd love to have you there. It's going to be a very exciting event for a great cause.
That's awesome. Yeah, I might have to book a ticket out there and come for that. That'd be awesome. It's just that's
We'd
awesome.
love to
That,
have
that's
you.
yeah, that's so that's I mean that's it speaks volumes to who you guys are too. Just as people, and then what you stand behind as a CM Capital, right? Um, and the direction of what you guys are looking to accomplish. I think that's just it's a huge to put on an event like that. I think it really separates you guys out, especially this early in your journey, and you are already putting on an event like this that's very impactful to a lot of people. Um, and the willingness of you guys to put in the effort, um, time, money to put on an event like this um, is awesome. And so I applaud you guys because that is such a big thing to do, um, and it's going to be impactful for everyone involved, including you guys in your company. Like there's benefits all around. There's really no you look at there's really no downside to it. It's I mean, you get to go play golf. So I mean, that's a plus, right?
Yeah.
Right. But a good big impact there. So that's awesome.
And 100% of proceeds go to breast cancer research for Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville. So we can't say how grateful we are to partner with Vanderbilt for a great cause. It's been as fun of a journey in that we've had so far.
It's awesome. Sweet. Well, with that, talking about events, kind of going down that whole of like the power of going to events. I wanted to touch back on you guys have gone to Peak Partnership twice now. You went the first time. It's always a big learning experience for someone going to their first Peak Partnership and just first kind of big networking conference. What was your takeaway round two going into Peak? What were things that you learned the first time, going into the second time, that you were able to kind of improve on, or you learned from?
I'll let Mike take this one.
Yeah.
He was the star.
I don't know about that, but I will say before I jump into that, it was super cool. So shout out to some of our peer students. We had in the first day probably 5 to 6 different people come up and say, "We loved your podcast. You helped motivate us and get us there." And that alone motivates us even more. Like we're glad we could help, but you guys coming to us and let us know was so powerful and helped motivate us. But the second peak is good. It's obviously a different perspective. It serves as a refresher, but the amount of additional confidence you have in knowledge, still trying to become a subject matter expert, but your level of knowledge is so much more that when you are networking and talking with individuals, you can be a part of the conversation more. So I think going back, and we fully intend to go back a third time next year, but going back and be able to really realize how much more of an impact you are in some of these conversations, or you're like, oh, I understand what they're talking about and what this vocabulary is now. So it's super cool from that perspective. But also, we had quite a bit of people come up and in their day one, week one, month one, and asking us where they should go. So we were almost acting as like informal advisors just to try to help get people to where they want to go. And that's what I love about Cooper, myself, and just our general partner team is we genuinely want to improve other people's lives. And even if it's, listening to our podcast or giving you one small tidbit of advice, we're happy to do that. So I think that was super gratifying from my perspective while we were there.
Yeah, we've had numerous calls with people that since Peak that we met at Peak, just keeping in touch. And It's really awesome the community that's in place at Multifamily Mindset. Talking with people, you essentially have this great network all around you with different levels of knowledge, different subject matter experts in various parts of real estate, and we try to remind ourselves it's always important to really keep up with networking with individuals that you meet. You never know along your journey who can help each other. So it's very important to stay in touch with those that you meet, whether they're day one or they've been doing this for 15 or 20 years. You never know when an opportunity arises, how you can help each other. And that's the beauty of the community that's been built at Multifamily Mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shameless plug on that. Sam Ireland, shout out Sam. We met with him, and he was one of the ones that approached us about our podcast. Fast forward a day or two, and he's like, "Hey, I know Eddie. He has the CRM that's rolling out," and then he helped us out, and he was a newer student at the time. So, exactly to Cooper's point, it helped propel CM Capital, and it was kind of a mutual relationship there. So, shout out and thank you again, Sam.
Yeah, Sam's awesome. I know I met him right before peak, and then I saw him there. He's awesome. So yeah, shout out Sam. And to that, highlight Sam a little bit, but coming in new, he still added value. And I think a lot of people question like, how can I add value to people when I'm brand new? Sam did that, right? He's new to it. He's at a conference and he meets you guys, he talks to you guys, he talks to Eddie, and then he ends up connecting you guys. You know, that's huge value. And shout out to him because now he's being shouted out on the podcast. He's being talked about because of the value he added, even though he's very new in this space. And so that connecting, it's a huge, and that's why we go to Peak or other real estate conferences is to meet people, and then if you're a connector, like you just add so much value, and people remember that. Um, and are grateful for that, and then when it comes back, it'll come back around at some point where um, you'll refer someone to Sam, or he'll get someone referred to him. It's going to come back around, and that's what's just so beautiful about this business, this industry is really coming together and helping other people out. It just comes full circle and helps you out. It's not like back off. This is my person I'm talking to that's going to help me. Like you don't get the benefit. It's just me. So it's really cool to see that happen, and what you guys have been able to learn from going to peak again, and then going a third time will be exciting. Awesome. Let's jump into the questions I always ask, because I've asked you guys this before, but I love to just see kind of where you guys' perspective are now. So listeners will go back. I'll probably go back, and we'll see what your answers were from the first episode to this one, and see what changed, what didn't change. But first question is, how do you define success?
I can take that one. Um, I think everyone defines success differently, but I think you can objectively apply the statement I'm about to say, and then you can kind of craft it as you will. So, living intentionally and progressing towards what matters most. So, I think if everyone applies that to their own style, that's where the customization comes in. But for me, you know, creating a more comfortable life for my family is the most important. Um, Providing a diversification investment option for friends, family, and coworkers is such a cool feeling. Like being able to provide that platform is very gratifying, and that's what I think Cooper and I love what we do. But then growing and learning, one thing every day. It's very simple. It's like the 1% rule, if anyone's ever heard that. But that's going to create a snowball effect to where you will become a SME, and you'll be shocked if you look back 6 months from now how much you've grown. And I think that directly applies with any new students in the MF space. But Cooper, I don't know what you have.
Yeah, I'll keep mine simple. I believe the key to life is show up. Show up when it's hard. Show up when it's messy. Show up when no one's watching. Show up when you don't feel like it. Show up when the rewards are uncertain. Just show up. Um, you never can bet against the person who just keeps showing up and keeps taking action. That's the most dangerous person there is. So I firmly believe just showing up, being reliable, and continuously taking action will bring you very far in life.
I got a
Yeah,
good Tom Brady quote for Coopers. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't need to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't, consistent, determined, and willing to work for it.
that's yeah, great. I love that. Those are great answers, and I know they've definitely even improved from last year. Like just listening to it, um, which can just show like you guys are your growth. Um, from even last year where you guys were at. You guys have continued to grow and not just from a real estate standpoint, but from a personal standpoint, from even a mindset standpoint, has continued to improve, and that's really cool to see that aspect of that just growth on both sides. Next question. So I'm going to switch up a couple of these questions. What's and partly because Michael, I know you're a big quote guy, but the question is going to be either what's your current book you're reading, or what's one of your favorite quotes that's kind of playing in your head.
Yeah. I actually just finished reading Outwitting the Devil. That was one of Tyler's
Mm,
recommendations. That book's very interesting and but really
yeah.
good.
Yep.
Because it's just a totally different style of a book read. I actually bought the Headway app. I don't know if you've heard of that or
Mm,
anyone's heard of that, but it essentially compresses an audiobook um, books into, maybe 15 minutes of like clip notes. So I think it's super powerful. Uh, I think this one hits home for new investors, but there's two quotes I really like about being uncomfortable because I think getting into the space new, it's very uncomfortable, right? You're
hmm
talking, especially when you go to some of these events, the sponsors, how much assets under management they have, et cetera. It can be overwhelming. But I posted this one to the MFM Facebook group yesterday, but it feels hard because it's new, not because you're not good enough. I think that hits home for everything. And then a ship is always safe at shore, but that's not what it's built for. And that's Albert Einstein. And I think that one's very powerful because it's easy to be kind of complacent or, stay in your lane. But as you continue to grow and get out of the space you're comfortable in, you're only improving yourself.
hmm
Mike's throwing Albert Einstein quotes out
Yeah.
before I'm
I
about
had
to
to
go.
add that one in.
I don't know if I can top that, but I'll give my take. I've been reading The Five Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom. Amazing book. Really puts in perspective having family wealth, time, freedom of time, financial wealth, all the different types of wealth that there are. And one of my favorite takeaways from that book is do hard things because there's nothing better than a hard-earned win. The
Mhm.
pain, the struggle, the resilience, the grit, and then the reward. Then the joy of knowing that you paid the cost of entry for the thing that you wanted to achieve. Hard things are just good for the soul. Uh, that's a quote that I have in my office that I look at from time to time when doing hard things, just reminding myself why I'm doing them. But highly recommend The Five Types of Wealth by Sahil Bloom. It's a great book.
Love that. That was awesome. Okay, last question is what's your best advice to a new multifamily investor?
Give one. We touched on it earlier, but this goes back to we've hit on systems a lot, but the cheap option is often the most expensive in the long run.
Mm.
Applies to products, but also decisions. Hacks and shortcuts are just cheap decisions. They may sound good now, but when you cut corners to save, you just pay it in the long run.
That's a good one. Uh,
Yeah.
Mine will be maybe specific to investor relations, capital raisers, asset management, but I really like this. I'm going to add another quote, but everyone you know is either an investor or knows an investor. And if you have that mindset, it's very accurate and very powerful. There's so many people that have, already been referred or we meet. Um, but having your branding anywhere you go always, someone you spark a simple conversation, it'll eventually grow into, and Cooper talked about this on the last podcast, like, what is CM Capital? People will ask that. And that's where you should have your, I don't know if I want to call it an elevator pitch, but you should be able to quickly and confidently rattle off what you do, any numbers you have, because I think it speaks volumes and shows your confidence. And then just being an educator. I mentioned that on the last podcast, but I humbly believe being an educator versus salesman um, is massive. It helps earn trust. It shows you know what you're talking about, and as a new student, it's okay if people tell you no. It's happened more times than yes to Cooper and I. Um, but sometimes they may eventually come around. If not, no big deal. Just move on and stay positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In those conversations when you're told no, I think it's important to just do a retrospective. Is there anything I could have done differently in the situation? And really reflect on that situation. And sometimes there may not be, but it's good to always reflect after when you're told yes, when you're told no, what can I do differently? What did I do well? I think it's just important to keep improving.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at your guys's, 59 investors, I'm sure you've talked to well over 59 people to get to invest. And so, yeah, I mean, you're going to get the no's and that's okay. But it's about like, you can't just talk to 59 people and expect every person to invest. And if they don't, then no, you're not good at capital raising or sales. It's like you said, you're educating. Know, like, and trust. That's what's get people to invest with you. Um, is those things, and so you got to start with um, building that brand and platform and building that trust up to get that person to invest. And so, those that are listening and you're looking to raise on a deal, if you haven't started now, you got to start now. Talking to people, educating them, just what you do. Like that's all it is just open your mouth and talk about what you do. Don't try to pitch anything. It's just about educating them about it. And then when the time's right, as you've been educating them, an opportunity arises, they might be ready, they might not. Um, but you got to put in that work, planting that seed. So great advice. You guys gave a ton of advice. And if anyone wants quotes, go to Michael. He's got all the quotes. I love it. Even Albert Einstein quote. That's great. Man, there's so much more I want to dive into. Like we even dive into like where you guys are at with how you feel about the market and investor sentiment. But let's touch on that real quick just because that I want to see you guys have been in this 2 years, so you have been able to feel a little bit about the cycles. So I know I'm throwing this like kind of last minute, but has things changed for you guys with how the market's kind of shifted and changed? When you're talking to investors, has it been more difficult? Have you guys been able to work through that? Could you just give me this quick rundown there?
You want to take that one, Matt?
I can take it. Yeah. I think the last it's been interesting because there's give and takes, right? Depending on macro environments and factors. So I think with the recent election, people have been maybe a little bit more bullish with stocks and things like that. But educating as a diversification asset always helps. And I think it's been a pretty challenging, year, 2 years with kind of where interest rates are and trying to get things to pencil out. So I think having that mindset of, if we can do it now, imagine when we hopefully get, rates down or markets get better. Um, but I think a large part of that too is doing your market analysis. There's deals out there. You just have to have a really good team, or you have to be really good at finding those deals, building those broker connections. Be more don't keep driving to your end goal, and you'll get there.
I would say to that point, I believe investors are being more cautious right now, just with where we're at in the market. We've seen that firsthand, and rightfully so. It goes back to being an educator and knowing the fundamentals. And if you're a part of the deal, understand why do you personally like this deal
Mhm.
beyond beyond the numbers, like the annual return rate, the cash on cash, like why are you a believer in this deal? What is really the key highlight outside of the numbers? You want to be able to tell a story. Because if you're a part of the deal, you better be a believer in the deal.
Mhm.
Um, that's my take on it.
Yeah. Well, that great advice. And just talking through, how you guys are dealing with that and walking through that. I think that's helpful to people that are questioning, the market right now. And if it's still a good time to invest and, investors are interested. And it's just about just phrasing it the correct way and laying all the facts out, being transparent, I think is huge. So, well, I appreciate you guys jumping on again and just diving in deep through a lot of gold nuggets. I know people are going to learn so much from your first, that they have learned so much from your first episode, but even more this time around to hear you guys again. So I appreciate you guys. And, I look forward to you guys just continuing to crush it, raising capital and getting on and involved in deals. And, maybe we'll partner on another one again soon, because that's been fun. So
Yeah.
appreciate you guys jumping on. Any last pieces that you want to, shout outs or anything you want to leave
Always
us
a
with?
pleasure, Zach. We're super grateful to be on the podcast for a second round with you. And I think you summed it up well. Maybe we'll partner on another deal again soon, but super grateful to be a part of this community and to be on the podcast today.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much. And listeners, if you like this, please like, share it, give us a review, because I know you learned something today. If you didn't, you can blame me or you can just re-listen to it because you might have just zoned out and slept. So re-listen to this and we'll see you guys next time.
Multifamily mindset.